then Jackie would start letting me go on trips with him sometimes. I mean, basically, when I look back on it now, I was kind of his stooge. I would be there like a little gopher or whatever, but just to being around Jackie, to go on a trip from Memphis up to say Dyersburg or something like that, 80 miles, no big deal. And he would drive a big Cadillac, and I'm sitting over there, and we would stop on the way out of Memphis, and I'd go in. We'd go into a convenience store and get a Coke in a can and a bag of potato chips or something like that. And I'd sit in the car, and then he'd drive and tell all these crazy stories. But inevitably, every time I'd get a bag of chips and my Coke. As soon as he'd get in the car, he'd just look over somebody, and he'd catch me looking the other way, and he'd just reach over and grab my chips and just crush them, right? Just crunch them up into just like crumbs. I don't know why. It just, as soon as I was looking the other way, he'd just go, and he just crushed my bag of potato chips. He'd do that every time, and I'd fall for it every time. I'd never remember that he was going to do that. But he was just such a funny guy, and he was just always. I think he loved being around me because he could rib me so easy. I was so naive. One of the times he there early in the club, and they were just getting everything ready to open up, and I was finishing up one of my drawings, and there was a girl waitress named Marie. She was so pretty, and she was up there counting out change and everything and wrapping silverware. And Jackie comes walking by and says, "Hey, Marie." She said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Jerry Lawler wants to paint your picture." She said, "Oh, that would be nice." "Yeah, he wants to paint you naked. He wants you to pose naked." And I was like, "No, oh no, I never said that. I swear, did not know." Just, he would just get the biggest kick out of embarrassing me to everybody, But he was just a classic guy. Some of the first times I ever went to, I'll never forget. He pulled on Jerry Calhoun up in I think that was Dyersburg. It was Jonesboro. We went over to Jonesboro in the old American Legion building, and it was one of the first times Jerry Calhoun was ever refereeing. And he goes in, he takes his clothes off all nice and proper and prim, and has a hanger for him, and he hangs them up in the little locker room there, and puts his shoes up under the bench where he's getting dressed. And then when he goes out to start, he puts his boots on, he goes out, starts refereeing the match. And then at the end of the night, comes in, takes his little shower, and starts putting his clothes on. Then he goes to put his shoes on, and he can't pick them up. He looks, and somebody had nailed his shoes to the floor. It's just, of course, Jackie Fargo, he found a hammer and two nails and went inside and nailed Jerry's shoes right to the wooden floor there. But, oh gosh, he was such a great guy. And